these guys go and make these decisions to do these dumb things outside the company off of the WWE's time. Are they going to fire and suspend every single one of them? I mean, now listen to me. Randy Orton has had I don't know how many fences. He's still walking around.
Only 2, but we know of a 3rd that never got dealt with.
Actually, he's up to his 5th, and he's still walking around and getting pushed.
Well, he's not fighting right now. He's been out of the title picture since his last one.
Yeah, but he's still on TV every week, is my point. But, I mean...
serve a 60-day suspension after his last one.
Yeah, this time. But all the other times, he's still, when he comes back, he's still the top star. And the thing is, it's like, okay, you had a freaking girl, that one of the divas that got caught with DUI and bribery. They gave her 15 days suspension. Are they going to sit and punish and suspend every single body that drinks or has marijuana in the car when they know that they shouldn't be doing these things in the first place because it's against the law?
And by the way, for the record, you're talking about Cameron, one of the Funkadactyls, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Actually, I'm going to use that same point to argue the other side of this. They took a non-wrestler, and she was at the time. She's actually wrestling now, okay? Mm-hmm. But back then, Cameron wasn't wrestling. She was just a dancer for Brodus Clay. In other words, she wasn't placing anybody's life in danger by risking being under the influence in the ring. Because she wasn't holding somebody else's life in her hands, okay? And they suspended her for 15 days for a DUI, which I thought was appropriate. Because DUIs not only put you at danger, they also put people on the road at danger, okay?
Yeah, understand.
So pay attention and teach her a lesson and let her know that this company does not tolerate this sort of shit. They put her on the shelf for 15 days, which actually hurt Brodus Clay more than anything because about all he's got going for him is this Funkadactyl dancer gimmick, okay? Until he got paired with Tensai, that is. But then you take a guy who's not only a wrestler on the roster and who does hold the lives of other people in his hands, but is also the number 1 contender for the world championship. And you do nothing with that? So you're going to suspend a dancer for 15 days for driving under the influence, but you're going to do nothing with Jack Swagger for being in possession of marijuana, driving under the influence, driving too fast. You're going to do nothing with that? And this guy does wrestle for a living?
Yeah, but it's not even the thing of her being a dancer. Here's the problem, Frank. Brodus Clay was receiving a push and was going to become United States champion. And when she did that whole thing, he got depushed. And we didn't see Brodus on television for it anymore. They were firing kids in NXT for having DUIs.
Right. So it's
she gets a little slap on the wrist, and it's okay.
So it's okay to suspend Cameron for 15 days and ruin Brodus Clay's career, basically, when he had nothing to do with that whole damn thing.
Mm-hmm.
But then you're just going to let Jack Swagger walk? Because he's in the middle of a major push right now that involves xenophobia, by the way? I'm just disgusted by this whole thing. I was already uncomfortable with this before all that shit happened, and now I'm disgusted by it that not only is he doing this angle, but now he gets away with basically a wellness violation, and they're still doing this angle.
Well, do you think it's because I wouldn't really say per se that he's getting away with it, because none of us know if they're going to suspend him after this. None of us know if they're going to make him lose at Mania and they're going to suspend him afterwards. None of us know this. None of us know what they had planned for him. But do you think they actually are doing this because of all the coverage he's getting from Glenn Beck and that fool, what's his name, Adam Jones or whatever, all these people responding to him? And, they like this stuff. They like the press. They like to be on the TMZs. They like to be all over Fox News. They like these things.
For being on those things, though. And and we talked about this last week, Vince still gets negative coverage. I don't know directly if it's directly from the Benoit thing, but this industry still has a black eye because of that.
Yeah.
All right. And now you've got Fox News all over your ass again for the xenophobia angle that they're running with Jack Swagger. So, and I get the whole, the old P.T. Barnum, there's no such thing as bad publicity. I get all that, all right?
Mm-hmm.
But first of all, let me just ask a practical question. How many asses is Jack Swagger literally responsible for putting in the seats? How many people are coming to this show to watch this angle that wouldn't otherwise be there right now? 0. They would still be selling these arenas out without Jack Swagger. And the reason I know that is because they were selling out arenas before he came back. Nothing's changed there. How many extra pay-per-view buys are they going to get because of this angle they're running with Jack Swagger? Not enough to avoid doing the right thing. Not enough to avoid having integrity when it comes to suspending people for stuff like this. I admit that it's a bad time of the year. And Kev says if this wasn't getting mainstream attention, then Swagger would be gone. Maybe.
Exactly.
No, I tend to think that if it wasn't WrestleMania time, he would have been gone.
No, they've gotten rid of guys and suspended guys around Mania season.
They could have, yeah, but if this angle were going on in August and this had happened, they would have suspended him.
Seriously, they pull guys off of Mania for this type of shit.
But they're not him. Why are they not pulling him?
Because it's all over the news, Frank. He's all over. Glenn Beck from Fox News.
Glenn Beck, first of all, Glenn Beck's not even on Fox News anymore. He's got his own show on some, yeah,
but they want the mainstream and media attention. This is what the type of stuff they want. They don't care.
There are other ways to get it. You've got a bona fide $20 million a year Hollywood actor as your WWE champion. You don't need Glenn Beck. You don't need Jack Swagger running around being a white supremacist racist to get mainstream attention. You don't need that. It may be drawing that kind of attention right now, but you've got a $20 million a year leading actor in Hollywood as your WWE champion right now. That's all the mainstream attention you need. Every time they go to Miami, you've got Flo Rida in the stands. Every time they go to Detroit, you've got Machine Gun Kelly in the stands. Every time they go to a major city with a football team, half the team is sitting in the front row. They do tribute to the troops, so they do the whole Yay America, we love the Army crap every year. They get plenty of mainstream media. They're going to sell 1.5 million buys at WrestleMania this year because Dwayne Johnson is the WWE champion. They don't need this to get mainstream attention.